Good morning, yogis. This is Julie from Totally Holistic Health and a slightly different change of venue today. But I thought I would quickly pop on and tell you about this week's Niyama. This is the second of the 5 Niyamas, and this one is called Santosha. Now, Santosha, if you're looking at translations, it tends to be related to sort of really I suppose acceptance is probably what you would probably the main thing you'd think about. So it's really a case of in your yoga practice, sort of looking at your practice and more accepting what you can do rather than what you can't do. It's about being not competitive in your practice, but also when you're actually in an asana or in a particular pose, just noticing if you're feeling tired, sort of tight or sore, but also sort of looking at what actually, so obviously rather than focusing on that negative sort of side, sort of thinking, I'm really tight today, or whatever, thinking on the positive, looking at what actually does feel good, but also using each asana as well, just to experience how it feels on your body. I mean, everybody's body is different. I always say that in my classes, particularly, everyone's body geometry is different. I can't do my shoulders and my arms aren't strong enough. I can't do arm balances, but I know a lot of people can. And I would love to be able to do one, but I'm accepting that I don't have that body geometry to do that. My shoulders aren't strong enough, my wrists aren't strong enough, and there's lots of things that I can do that other people can't do. But obviously, it's not competitive. It doesn't really matter about whether you can or can't. It's just learning that you can accept that whether it's going to happen or not, really. So looking at you might actually find in a class that your version of a particular asana looks different from everybody else's, but again, that's fine. This is your version. You often compare ourselves to other people and just see where you're lacking in certain stuff, but rather than looking at it that way, just sort of looking at each other and see what everyone else is doing, but also just enjoying the diversity that yoga actually brings, and the fact that it doesn't have to be like you find on Instagram and stuff like that. This is your practice, it's how you feel and when you're actually doing that particular practice, and just accepting that it may not look like it does and everyone else's does, because again there's certain changes. Your body's not the same as everybody else's, which is brilliant. There is a sort of Chinese proverb which I think is actually really, really good. It's basically saying people in the West are always getting ready to live, and I think that's a really, really good sort of way of looking at stuff. We're actually bombarded by sort of like advertisements all the time, particularly up to Christmas and stuff. I know, there's loads of them around. So you're always sort of like, rather than sort of accepting what you do, having gratitude for that, you're always looking for the next thing and the next thing. So when you're little, you can't actually wait to get bigger. When you're big, you can't wait to leave home. When you leave home, you can't wait to get through college. You can't wait to get that job. You can't wait for holidays. You can't wait for retiring. So rather than actually living in the moment, we just tend to find you're always waiting for that next thing. So rather than just accepting yourself, which is really important. You are enough. That's a really, really big phrase for sort of Santosha. Sometimes if you can't take control of something, though, that's fine. Just learn to go with the flow. So it's also really important to take time out for yourself. Actually, really appreciate those small things in your life as well. And just practicing that gratitude, really. So that is Santosha Acceptance. I think it's a really, really important one. There's a lot of talk about gratitude and sort of being thankful for what you have, and I think Santosha is totally sums it up. But again, see how you get on with your yoga practice. I'll do a little yoga practice for you later, and hopefully we can practice and see how you get on with that. Till next time, take care. Bye bye.